It's my great honor and privilege to welcome you all most warmly this evening to the inaugural function of Compliance Awareness Week. I'm Divya Rajendran from Compliance Department, privileged to host this event. I'm delighted to welcome our distinguished guest and I extend a very warm welcome to our MD CEO, Sri S.L. Jain sir, our Executive Director, Sri Imran Amin Siddiqui sir, our Executive Director, Sri Ashwini Kumar sir. And most importantly, I welcome our General Managers, FGMs, Zonal Managers, Inspection Heads, Principal Image, AGMs, and all employees across Pan-India who are all present physically and virtually for the observance of Compliance Awareness Week. We would like to start this program by prayer. May I request all of you to stand for the invocation of Indian Bank Anthem.
स्वदेशी आंदोलन में गूंजा स्वदेशी नारा, स्वदेश भावना से बना ये इंडियन बैंक हमारा। स्वदेशी आंदोलन में गूंजा स्वदेशी नारा, स्वदेश भावना से बना ये इंडियन बैंक हमारा। रिश्तों की इस पूंजी का सदियों तक साथ निभाएंगे, ये बैंक है आपका अपना, हर मोड़ पे हमको पाएंगे। प्रथम धर्म है सेवा हमारा, दूसरा सद्व्यवहार है, आप सबसे मिलकर बना ये इंडियन बैंक परिवार है। जो नाम जुड़ा है भारत से, इस नाम का मान बढ़ाएंगे, लोगों की सेवा में रहकर हम अपना फर्ज निभाएंगे। जोश है, हिम्मत भी है और आगे बढ़ने की ठानी है, नई सफलताओं की हमको लिखनी नई कहानी है। डिजिटल हुआ है भारत, हम डिजिटल सेवा को बढ़ाएंगे, हर सर्विस को अपनी हम डिजिटल पर लेकर आएंगे। विश्वास की इस परंपरा को आगे यूं ही बढ़ाएंगे, ये बैंक है आपका अपना, हर कदम पे हमको पाएंगे, हर कदम पे हमको पाएंगे, हर कदम पे हमको पाएंगे।
Thank you all. Now, our General Manager, Chief Compliance Officer, sir, will welcome our MD and CEO, sir, with a flower bouquet. Jain, AGM, Compliance will present a bouquet to our Executive Director. Okay, sir. Compliance, a very important aspect for sustainable success story for banking and financial system, which is meticulously handled by our Chief Compliance Officer. Now, I invite our General Manager and Chief Compliance Officer, Sri Suresh Kumar sir, to give welcome address.
Thank you, Divya. Good evening, everyone. Respected Jain sir, MD and CEO, respected Imran Amin Siddiq sir, Executive Director, respected Ashwini Kumar sir, Executive Director, corporate GMs, FGMs, zonal managers, LCB heads, IC heads, principal image, zonal training of, center in charges, and all other colleagues of corporate office, FGMO, zonal office, and all branch managers and branch staff, and CEO of Singapore, CEO of Colombo, and whole-time director, president of our in-bank merchant banking service, and all of the staff members who joined physically as well as through web. I welcome you wholeheartedly for this Compliance Awareness Week celebrations. Sir, let me express my sincere thanks to our MD and CEO because he is a clear and standing example of compliance starts from the top. Due to your support and encouragement, sir, the compliance function in the bank has grown from a tiny level to very, very robust level. Thank you very much, sir. And I thank our ED sirs also for the support extended in improving the compliance function and catering the needs of the compliance functions requirements. Friends, you are all aware that compliance is everyone's responsibility and ethics of the organization. Hence, to promote the compliance culture and to build a strong business with, which is compliant with all rules and regulations, to improve compliance framework in the organization, we have organized this 1 week compliance awareness program under the guidance of our MD and CEO as well as executive directors. Today I can very proudly say that this is the first of its kind in the entire public sector banking industry that this kind of compliance awareness week pan-India basis we are only conducting. I am very proud about that, and once again I thank our top management for this support. We have planned various activities during this week, one essay competition and slogan competition, as well as one quiz competition, which we have organized online. The participation is very encouraging. Actually, for essay competition and slogan competition, we said the last date is today, but due to the overwhelming response and request from the field, we are extending it by another 2 days up to 4th. And I request all the, even GMs can participate. Valerie madam also expressed her interest to participate. Please submit your essay on the slogan, and all of you please participate. This is the very purpose of this activities is to, like, every one of our staff members should think that there is a compliance function, there is a need for compliance, what is compliance, how to do a compliance, all those things. That idea should come into the minds of staff members. That is the very purpose for which these activities are arranged, scheduled. You kindly, you also participate, and you also encourage all the staff members to participate. And few more points I would like to submit in front of our MD CEO and all our corporate GMs and other members. Sir, as on date, we are doing quarterly online certification and testing. At your instance, we have increased 25% testing to 30% testing include high-risk branches. That is providing good results, sir. Our high-risk branches are coming down, and non-compliance incidences are looked at, though it is a random sampling, and we are looking at rectifying it so that zonal compliance committees are rectifying it, passing a resolution and sending to us. That way, that is, because of that, our non-compliance risk index is continuously low, sir. This is because of your guidance to increase the compliance testing. And sir, as per your guidance, we have increased the off-site testing also. The various issues we are pointing out to the field level as well as the corporate GMs, and rectifications are happening so that when the RBI comes for on-site inspection, we will not have some issues. Thanks for your foresight and directions that we should conduct more of off-site compliances. Both of them things are happening very well, sir. And I assure you, sir, under your leadership and guidance, we are moving from unit level compliance to individual compliance by way of rolling out of NICE. Actually, when the ease requirement came for individual compliance assessment, In fact, no bank has done it, and every bank was looking at each other. It is only our MD and CEO under his direction we started moving around, and today we successfully launched, sir. It is parallelly running with the existing quarterly online compliance questionnaire, and which will be withdrawn. The existing one will be withdrawn, and the NICE portal will continue up by June, max by September, sir. That is one step ahead. I think we are the leaders in entire banking industry in that also. And sir, we have also in the process of introducing Sermo Next. That is an authoritative compliance function which is there in all banks. That is now being rolled out to corporate center, and it will be rolled out to all branches before the end of this year. Ultimate aim of all this exercise is to make our bank robust in compliance, as well as, like we have to build a business with compliance. With this aim only, all these initiatives are taken. My dear friends, I would like to quote two couplets from Tirukural. Without that, I don't think this speech will be complete. See, what is the aim of compliance? Whether it stops at office level? No. It should go beyond office. It should be in your personal life also. First couplet I would like to quote is Tirukural 841. Arivinmai, inmayul inmai, piridinmai, inmaya vayatulaku. That is meaning the want of wisdom is the greatest of all wants. So compliance is basically, like knowing things and doing right things. So if you want to increase the wisdom, you should know the internal policies, rules, regulations, everything properly and adhere to it. That is why this couplet I have quoted. And the second is the ultimate thing. One is office life, other one is personal life. In personal life also, you should be sort of a perfect person. For that, I quote this Tirukural, couplet number 34. Manathukan Masilan Adal Anithadan Agula Nirapira. Meaning, you should become spotless, flawless in your mind by absorbing right kind of things and adopting right attitude, so that you will not only lead your organization to success, you will be a successful person forever. Thank you very much, sirs, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, CCO, sir. I am honored to welcome Sri Ashwini Kumar, Executive Director, sir, who is in charge of compliance, to address.
Very good afternoon, respected MD Shri Jain sir, my colleague on the board Shri Imran ji, general managers from corporate office, FGMs, ZMs, compliance teams, and other colleagues. Well, today we are starting this Compliance Awareness Week. As Mr. Suresh was telling, that this is first of its kind in the industry. I compliment first of all Mr. Suresh to take initiation, and also to take it forward. And he brought this idea, and after discussing we approved, and today we are here to start the process of Compliance Awareness Week. Mr. Suresh was talking about compliance. And few people may be afraid, what is this compliance? On one side, we always ask about business. We always ask onboarding. We are always asking about new initiatives bank is taking, tab banking, video banking, now digital lending, pre-approved loan we already launched. Friends, let me tell you, when we are doing all these initiatives, compliance becomes a very important function now. Compliance has to be inbuilt in the organization right from the top to the bottom, right from the top management to the lower employee. So each and every employee, until unless we involve in the compliance culture, we cannot have compliant organization. I think that is one step which we have introduced by bringing NICE, wherein every individual will be assigned roles or the compliance roles, and they have to give their compliance levels. In either two scenario, compliance was a function of a branch head, branch manager, or zonal manager, or FGM, and like that. So nobody down the line were aware of the compliance, though they were doing the duties, but they were not aware whether as a compliance what is my role and what I have to do. But through this NICE tool, I believe that it has been percolated well down the line to everybody. People have started accepting and started giving compliance reports also. So that is one way of bringing compliance culture. The way currently the business is evolving, the models are evolving. We need to have the great importance, we need to tell the importance of this compliance to the staff also. Even whosoever has faced that RBI AFI, there also they always talk about the compliance of the various policies, guidelines issued from time to time. But compliance function we should never take as an impediment to our business. Compliance is a function to strengthen the position or the fundamentals of the bank, making the bank strong bank, and also to ensure that we are not in non-compliance of in any, while in the process of doing business, we are not in the in any way non-compliant in any nature. No doubt, business is prime importance. We have to continue to do our business, but in a compliant manner, in a compliant culture. See, compliance starts from the top. It is not like that we can only tell people down the line, you comply, at our level we do not comply. So it is foremost duty at our level also, at our board level, ED's level, MD level, and GM's level, at corporate office level. First, we have to demonstrate the compliance also. So my request and appeal to all of you who are attending this Compliance Awareness Week today, today, or spread this message of compliance to each one. Go through the NICE tool, go look at the compliance behaviors expected. It will give us more strength, not only in our professional life, but in personal life too. And in this current environment, when we are talking about technology and all these things, I think this compliance culture goes beyond following the proper due diligence procedures, taking trainings, or reporting suspicious behavior. A strong culture of compliance is about infusing ethics into the organization's operations. It's about doing the right things into the existing culture at our bank. We can say our bank has a compliance culture only when compliance is at the central and unalterable part of our corporate culture. However, this does not happen overnight. For our bank to have a strong culture of compliance, ethics have to be present at every level of our organization. So my best wishes to Mr. Suresh and his team, and I look forward for I think the best compliant organization in the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your views about compliance. Now, I am honored to welcome Shri Imran Amin Siddiqui, sir, to talk some words about compliance culture in the bank.
Yeah, good evening. MD and CEO Jain sir, my colleague on the board Ashwini ji, general managers present in the hall, field general managers connected through web, IC heads, zonal managers, and other colleagues present in the hall and connected through web. This is really a good initiative to observe a compliance week. Compliance is a very, actually, when Suresh was talking, then Ashwini ji was talking, compliance is a very simple thing. You have to just follow the policies, procedures, laws, rules of the organization and of the regulators. That is it. Because not following or not observing the rules and regulations have very huge and adverse consequences. If you are not a compliant organization, because these days the public perception, the perception of the regulators, the perception of the people who deal with you is more dependent upon how you conduct your business. If your organization is continuously getting the penalties from the regulators, or you are getting the strictures from the auditors or inspectors, it means the organization doesn't have a proper compliance culture. But as previous speakers were saying, it should start from the top. Unless and until the people who are in the leadership role, whether it's MDs, EDs, general managers, field general managers, zonal managers, they should be always stickler to the compliance. You suppose business requires a quick decision. Sometimes we are tempted to bypass the rules without assessing the consequences it will lead to in the future. But you go to the giant shop and ask for some approval which is to be done by the board or board committee. And you ask that you sir do it and we will take a ratification. 100 out of 100 times you are not going to get approval. He will say, okay, put a note through circulation, we will do it today, we will find some time to discuss, only then we will take a decision. This should be the way to function. Okay, we will take a quick decision. We will find time from our busy time. But here we will do only following the procedure. So it should start from the top, and it starts from the top. This should percolate down the order. This should be the way of functioning of your general managers, your field general managers, your zonal managers. We will do. Suppose some deviation is required. Policy says that you have to take current ratio 1.33. But if we have to do at 1 or 1.1 or even for that matter 0.9, then in policy it is also permitted from where to get the deviation. Without getting that deviation, if you are doing, then you are non-compliant, you are violator, and it may lead to future consequences. And if that committee is taking the decision, it will be an informed decision, few minds will apply, and a considered decision will be taken. That kind of culture is required for doing the compliance. That it should start, you should engage with your employees when they come to the organization. Because it should start from the beginning. Unless and until you educate them, you make them aware that you have to be compliant from the beginning, going forward in the old age, it's very difficult to learn. Then you will be erratic. And this compliance has many benefits. It is fair to the organization and it is fair to the customer. It establishes a fair relation between the business and the customer. Customer will have faith in you while dealing with you because you are a compliant organization. You will not be doing any hanky-panky. Then it is beneficial to your employees also. They will not do anything, any violation, any illegal thing, any mistake which will be harmful to them in future if they are following the rules and regulations. One more thing, after which I will finish, but it doesn't mean you don't do business. Compliant doesn't mean कि जो है compliance if there is some restriction, some foundation, okay, you have to observe that. But then you will have to find the way to remain compliant and to take decision. Compliance should not give you a weapon not to take decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your inputs mean a lot to us. Abide by the rules, enjoy your life. Yes, abide by the rules, enjoy your life. It's a theme of Compliance Awareness Week, which was now inculcated deeply to all the employees of the organization. To enhance it more, we request our MD and CEO, sir, to administer the compliance oath. And I request all the staff members pan-India to take compliance pledge forward along with our MD CEO, sir.
Compliance course will be in English and then followed by Hindi. Yes. So English I will speak, then next Hindi. Pradhan you will speak, right? Yes. I, SL Jain,
Everybody will say
the employee of Indian Bank,
Indian Bank,
solemnly place that with the capacities of the position,
with the capacity of the position,
I hold at
I hold
any time in the bank,
anytime in the bank,
I place that
I place that
I will execute my function ethically and with utmost care. I place that I will throw a careful balance between
careful balance
the interest of all parties
in the interest of all parties
associated with the business,
associated with the business,
being the customers, shareholders, employees, and the society
and the society
in which the business operates
in the business operates
without compromising
without compromising
any norms, stock regulations stipulated by bank.
stipulated by the bank.
I place that
I pledge that
I will comply with
laws,
regulations,
regulations,
statutes, and code of conduct
and code of conduct
that apply to me
that apply to me
and to my institution.
and my institution.
I place that
I will act
transparently,
transparently,
accountably,
accountably,
and responsibly
and responsibly
to the society.
to the society.
I pledge that
I pledge that
I will make every effort
I will make every effort
to retain and improve
to retain and improve
trust in our beloved organization.
trust in our अनुपालन शपथ। मैं इंडियन बैंक का कर्मचारी
मैं इंडियन बैंक का कर्मचारी
देता हूँ कि मैं बैंक में किसी भी समय
बैंक में किसी भी समय
मैं शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं अपने कार्य को
मैं शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं अपने
और
कार्य को
सावधानी के साथ निष्पादित करूंगा। मैं
निष्पादित
शपथ लेता
करूंगा।
हूं कि यदि मैं कोई कारोबार करता हूं तो
यदि मैं कोई कारोबार
बैंक
करता
द्वारा
हूँ तो
निर्धारित किसी नियम
किसी नियम
विनियम के साथ बिना
विनियम के
समझौता
साथ
किए कारोबार से जुड़े ग्राहकों,
कारोबार से जुड़े
शेयरधारकों,
ग्राहकों,
कर्मचारियों तथा समाज के सभी तत्वों के बीच सामंजस्य बनाए रखूंगा।
आज की बीच
मैं शपथ
सामंजस्य
लेता
बनाए
हूं
रखो।
कि मैं उन कानूनों,
मैं
विधियों,
उन कानूनों
विधि और आचार संहिता का पालन करूंगा
विधियों और विधा का पालन
जो
करूंगा
मुझ पर और मेरी संस्था पर
और
लागू
मेरी
होते
संस्था
हैं।
पर
मैं शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं पारदर्शिता बनाए रखूंगा और समाज के प्रति जवाबदेह व जिम्मेदार रहूंगा। मैं शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं अपने प्रिय संगठन में विश्वास बनाए रखने के लिए और उसमें सुधार करने के लिए हर संभव प्रयास करूंगा। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sirs, and we thank all for the compliance pledge. Compliance start from the top, and our MD CEO is the standing example for the same. Now, I am privileged to welcome our MD and CEO, sir, to deliver inaugural address.
Imran ji, Ashwani ji, and all my friends. So as you know, all well, ma'am? Okay. As you know, all banks are highly leveraged organizations. Highly leveraged in the sense you can say what is our capital and what is our business level. So even the Basel committee says 10 capital 11 and half capital adequacy ratio. It means you can have 11 and half times of your capital as your business. Where we are in a bank, we know that debt equity ratio we used to call 3:1 and 4:1. So here is 9:1 or 8.96:1 like this. So we are a highly leveraged organization. In a highly leveraged organization, compliance is a very, very high level at all point of time, and we should give enough or all importance to the compliance function. And the way the size is being growing, the way the complexities is coming in the business, compliance is required. And not only compliance, in fact, entire assurance function of the bank is required. Priority, and Imran ji and Ashwani ji told about that. Start at the top. We know that three defense functions which we are having. One defense function is a business owner itself, business owner, who is taking risk and managing risk. So the first assurance function is a business function, and second we all know the risk management or the compliance functions. Basically, risk management see that we are taking risk according to our risk appetite, according to our risk policies, and compliance ensures that we do our business, do all acts according to the rules, regulations, policies, guidelines of bank as well as the regulator or the external world. And sometimes that is why some people say that compliance should be near to the operational risk, because operational risk and compliance is basically more or less same thing, but operational risk also talks about failing of system, processor, people and processes. And in the compliance, we see that we are complying all processes, or people are complying all the guidelines. So the second function, and third function is the madam functions, basically audit functions. Audit functions says that what kind of divergences we are having with your policies and divergences, and we report it to the appropriate authority for compliance. So the fact remains, all these three functions basically give assurance to the top management or assurance to the entire board or the assurance to the senior management that everything is going well in the organization and they can take risk and move forward. So under these guidelines, of course, we are having, business owners are having approvals from the risk committees or CRMC or ORMCs about their all policies, processes and all. Likewise, in the internal audit, we takes that all our RBIA and where we examine everything and they are having their own team to check documents and give the report. And there's a whole system in the bank which takes care of these are non-compliance and this is to be done. And risk, we are no prior to issuing any guidelines, we have to have risk approval. But what about the compliance? So compliance means we are just telling, following the rules and regulation, but how to ensure it? The fact remains, compliance, we have poorly compliant things, we generally say, sometimes we say inadequate compliance, sometimes we see non-compliance, right? So how to build a compliance culture in the organization that everybody should compliance. Of course, our job is to do business, but if you do business with compliance, that naturally organization will be have a longer life, organization will have a reputation in the eyes of everybody because this is an organization which is complying all. Because if you not comply, suddenly somewhere you get a penalty, somewhere you get a structure against that, somewhere some information, somewhere your customer will go against you, it will come in the news, social media, and all these places will happen. So compliance, how to create a compliance culture in the organization. So I was talking to when I joined, so what kind of compliances, in fact, we are ensuring in our bank. To my mind, some of the compliances we should see from our corporate office, this is we called as off-site compliance, maybe 100 points where we can have a off-site compliance from here. Suppose an account has been opened, whether it is a high risk, low risk or medium risk, if it is a dweller account, whether it is a high risk or low risk, whether account has been opened, whether PAN number is correct, whether FATF list has been checked, other number of things, eKYC to everything you can check from the corporate office. And if there is, you see a non-compliance, so then there should be a record, because now we are in digital world. Suppose I'm an officer in a branch and I have done so many non-compliance, there should be a numbers, how many non-compliance I have done. And this, if you accumulate this point and share with the person that these are, you have done 100 job and out of 100 you have done 80 non-compliance and suddenly you have done, say 70 and 60, that way you can create a compliance culture. This issue, in fact, when I was in a steering committee, I discussed, but in bank, how we build an organization culture, because banks are large organizations. And if you do any kind of non-compliance, then immediately we see there are some problems. Even we have seen in the banking sector that you opened a current account and money has gone out of the country, out of the boundaries, though there is no bank's money involved, but even then money of the country has gone. And the bank is liable to answer everybody and also to compensate the people. So how to build a organization culture, and that, in fact, when in my last assignment, I prepared one policy also. So let us, each and every non-compliance, let us accumulate, tell to the people, these are the non-compliances we are doing, and slowly when they will know that everything is monitored, then compliance culture in the organization will develop. If you will not monitor the compliance, then suddenly you will have a problem. Suddenly money will go out of the system, and now everything is digital. Earlier, we were having a manual records, nobody was tracking, but now digital records can be tracked today, tomorrow, 100 years later as well. So we have to build a compliance culture, and therefore I requested our compliance officers also to come out with a policy wherein we can say these are the off-site monitoring, these are the compliance tests, and how to do a compliance test. And second point, what the RBI too has said, that the compliance should be given top priority by that, and therefore they came out with the new guidelines. But first thing they said, there should be entry and exit restriction on the compliance officer. Entry means, so who should be the compliance officer? There should be a certain experience he should have. And if you have taken him as a compliance, then he should not be shown exit, that he should go. I should, after that, if he's not, he's writing against anybody, then he should not be removed from that position. Likewise, the same position should be at the zonal level also. That should not be exit. Zonal manager should not be allowed to transfer the compliance officer, to my mind, without taking concurrence from you. Otherwise, we will not be able to ensure compliance in the bank, because if he's writing anything against it, he's telling the correct thing. No, you have to comply. And therefore, even for a selection of a compliance officer in a bank, in a zonal office, we need to have a concurrence of the compliance officer. So entry and exit, and therefore, and third point is that on-site verification and off-site verification. In fact, when I was discussing with him, he said that we are doing 4 times, 25% of branches are like this, right? So I said you make 30% because high risk should be more. So let us check and make sure that every year we have at least 100% verification of branches to ensure that our compliance is being taken care. So, and therefore, in addition to that, for all our policies should be vetted by compliance and risk. I think it is going on, yes, right? So every our policy should be vetted by compliance. I'm telling you globally, because I have dealt with all regulator of the world. Globally, compliance is at the top of the agenda. They immediately, first, if you recruit any compliance officer, you need to have permission from the regulator that this person, we are recruiting him as a compliance officer. They take interview and then they allow. And for any exit of a compliance officer, you need to have their approval. In addition to that, if there is any issue, they call immediately the compliance officer and ask, what is the issue? And compliance officer should directly report to the board. Compliance officer should not report even to the executive management, because he is in charge of the compliance of a bank, because banks are highly leveraged. Any problem in a bank will have an impact on the entire financial system. So that compliance should be on top priority, and that is why you see our last policy, the Reserve Bank of India has come. Even in the corporate governance policy itself, Reserve Bank of India has told about the compliance. Compliance officer should meet to the audit committee chairman without the presence of the EDs and MDs, and tell him what kind of non-compliance is, and had a separate minutes for that. That should be with him. So this is lot of importance is given to the compliance officer. I'm requesting our compliance officer that we should have a highest degree of compliance, because what happens if you do a compliance, you create a value for the organization. If you are getting penalties, or if you are having some kind of issues and it comes every day in the media, or even if it is not coming in the media, even your own people knows, they also think that what kind of organization we are having. Suddenly we are having A problem, B problem, C problem, so you are not creating a value. So if we are fully compliant, we are creating a value, people will have a more confidence in us. And I'm telling you, this is a global practice, and slowly in our country it is coming. Slowly. And slowly entire organization will be compliance checks. And in fact, here I don't know why he is not putting every month compliance report is to be placed to the board and to the MD that these are the compliances, this offside 100 checks I have done, 90 has been completed, 10 has been not completed because of A reason, B reason, and what remedial measures has taken, whether these problems has been taken by the system or what action has been taken against those persons who are continuously non-compliant, and this report is required to be placed to the board along with the signature of the MD and CEO, that we are ensuring entire board that we are complying all the rules, regulations. And there also we have to certify 3-4 things. All RBI regulations have been complied, Government of India regulations have complied, all our policies have been compliant, and the department who is making the policy should also comply that I have met this policy and this complies. I ensure that everything is complied. Otherwise, what we write in so many of such a big policy, this should be done, this should be done, this should be done. Nobody reads the policy, nobody complies. And suddenly if something goes wrong, you will be questioned on that policy. And then you will say, sir, they are reading policy and putting us problem. But it is your duty. Why you have made it otherwise 200 pages? So that kind of culture is required in the organization to be sustainable for a long period of time, to my mind. Imranji has told that whenever you put any information, 100 out of 100, you will not get chance. I will not take any chance, I am telling you. Straight. I can have a meeting, but I will not override the powers over there. No. This is clear in my mind. Suppose it is in the power of CSE, CSE will do it. I will do the CSE in the night, but I will not take a CSE power if it is not in my power. So likewise, I never expect from you also to take, and I will never tell you to take my power and do anything. So otherwise, we will not be a compliant organization, because we don't know suddenly what will happen tomorrow. And we all are employees. We are working for good faith. We are working for the betterment of the organization. Right? So my expectation from all of you is to be fully compliant. We have to do fast. We can have 10 meetings, we can have 20 meetings, but we should be compliant. If we are not compliant, then there's a problem. Madam has come out to me around a week back, sir, this is the good customer, you approve it. Where is power? Well, sir, it is a good customer, but where it is written? So it falls under the power of CSE. Why you came to me? You should not have come to me, na? So I told you go where the power lies. And I can have meeting in the evening itself. But I can't take the power of Imranji or Ashwiniji or all and then do. This is not fair, na? So that is why my expectation from each one of you is to comply the rules, regulations of the organization and do in the best interest of the bank. Thank you, everything.
Thank you very much, sir. Your speech has made it very clear to the entire bank that what is expected as from every one of us. Yeah, our MD is expecting every one of us. Our EDs are expecting every one of us. Our board is expecting every one of us to be compliant. Our EDs have very adequately, very clearly told that yes, we can do business with compliance. That is, we will not bend the rule, we will not violate anything. If there is a deviation, we have to find a way to approach the next higher authority, and TAT has to be improved anytime, and business has to be done. Without business, there is no compliance, there is no risk, there is no inspection. We want to be business enablers. Sir, thank you very much, sir. We have taken note of all the points you have spoken, and we will make the compliance function very robust, and we will see that the message spreads down the line to everyone, and we will perform all the tests that is expected to be performed by the compliance department, and we will ensure that our bank becomes a very, very robust and compliant organization. Thank you very much, sir. Really, we are obliged for your delivery today. Thank you. Now, Jain, will you come for a vote of thanks? Be short.
Good evening, everyone present here and present virtually. Respected MD and CEO, sir. Respected ED Sri Imran Amin Siddiqui, sir. Respected ED Sri Asni Kumar, sir. Respected all the GMs, FGMs, DGMs, zonal heads, other vertical heads, and all my dear colleagues. On behalf of compliance team, it is my privilege to propose vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion of Compliance Awareness Week, inauguration of Compliance Awareness Week by our Honorable MD and CEO, sir, in the august presence of both ED sirs and all of you. Sir, my heart filled with a lot of gratitude and respect for your sparing valuable time and honored us on this occasion. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable deliberations, valuable guidance, and useful suggestions, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I am also thankful to our both the ED sirs for their valuable support and guidance always, and valuable deliberations and useful suggestions, sir. I express my thanks to all the GMs, FGMs, DGMs, other vertical heads, zonal head, and all my dear colleagues for giving valuable time and making this event a grand success. I am thankful to CCD team for giving valuable inputs for this program. I am also thankful to ITD team for giving support for this program. Last but not least, I am thankful to GM and CCO sir. He only thought of this program and took initiative, and we are the first batch to conduct such program. We are thankful to sir for valuable guidance. We are thankful to compliance team also for their efforts put in for this program. Again, I will thank one and all. Thank you very much, sir. Please take tea and snack arranged by us before leaving, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Sir, once again, I request all of you to stand for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे